Shalom, shalom, Israel. First, I want to give all honor and glory to the Most High God. Yahweh. Ba Shema Mashiach Umarak Yahweh. Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly Father, who the world ignorantly calls God, right? And Yahweh, and Yahweh is the name of his only begotten Son, who the world calls Jesus Christ. First and foremost, I want to give a strong shalom to all the mighty men that go out there and labor. They present their bodies as a living sacrifice. They're doing all they can to magnify the name of the Most High. They're enduring the elements, the 100-degree weathers, the freezing below codes, and everything that's trying to hinder the work of the Most High. Shalom, shalom. I want to give another strong shalom to all the mighty Akwath, right? The sisters that are reverencing their husbands, and the unmarried sisters as well, being teachers of good things, tender, delicate, and on fire for the Most High God. I want to give another strong shalom to all the mighty teenagers, Christ Salaki, mighty teenagers and children in this thing as well, doing all they can in the last days to make their calling and election sure, right? And by the topic of this code cut is, do not take this truth for granted, right? Do not take this truth for granted. Nobody knows their time, right? So most are willing, everybody's having a beautiful feast of dedication and keeping it in righteousness, right? Most are willing. But again, the topic of this code cut is, right? Do not take this truth for granted, because nobody knows their time, man. And when a lot of brothers and sisters come into this truth, right? They appreciate it. They're grateful. They're so amazed. They're literally not taking advantage of the tender and mercies of the Most High God. But as they go and progress on, a lot of people take this truth for granted, man. They act as if it's not how it used to be. It's not that how they used to have their first love. They're not on fire for it no more. They're not inflamed for it no more. And we can't take this thing for granted, man. You know how many brothers and sisters that are in the world, they're lost, they're blind, they have no hope, that's actually seeking for the truth, right? I mean, if you take this thing for granted, you're just gonna be a fool, man. You will be a fool to take this thing for granted. You have everlasting life, man. The Most High has given you the keys to the kingdom of heaven. This is the key right here, man. Everything you need is in this book right here. This is all you need. A lot of people, you have what you need, you have it sitting right in front of your face, man. But we take this thing for granted. A lot of people think the truth is a hobby, man. It's something you do just to do, or you do when you feel like you want to do it. Ain't nobody knows when they're gonna get taken out of this thing, right? If you haven't heard, nobody in this truth has a guaranteed spot. When I say nobody, I mean nobody. You might have came into the truth. You might have thought, well, hold on. The Most High is giving me the truth. Man, I have to be the only one that's chosen. Then you come to find out, it might be thousands of Israelites in your city, man. Thousands of Israelites across the country. A lot of people, you think have a secure spot, man. Right? We here to tell you today, if you're an Israelite in this truth, man, woman, child, elder, whoever you are, you do not have a guaranteed spot. At any moment, you can be replaced. Not only that, at any moment, you could be taken out. Right? So I want to kick it off with the book of Ecclesiastes. And we have to meditate upon these things, seeing we are approaching the latter days. These are the things to be meditating upon, man. Because these are going to be the things that's going to establish your mind. That's going to have you firm, grounded, and rooted. Right, let me kick it off with the book of Ecclesiastes, the next chapter. Right? Let's kick it off with the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 9, and verse number 12. right? Ecclesiastes chapter 9 and verse number 12. It says, for man also knoweth not his time. It says man doesn't know his time. And when you're gonna come to find out, man is on a low level, man. Man doesn't know nothing. Man is like beast. The Lord compares man unto beast. The way that man acts has similar characteristics to that of a beast, man. Man don't know what's going on. They're lost. They're caught up in there. They have miserable thoughts. And the Most High said, man knoweth not his time. Man doesn't know when he's going to get taken out of this thing. You think when people die in the world, you think they know they're going to die, man? Some of them don't even expect to be dead, man. They expect to see old age. How much more for us in the truth? We don't know our time. It's a set day time for certain Israelites to fall out of the truth. It's a set day and time for certain Israelites to give up the ghost and go back to the spirit world as a judgment. And it's certain men and certain time for Israelites not to get the kingdom of heaven. The scariest thing is we don't know who these men are. It could be any one of us. And they tell you that in the world, man, dealing with these sports. Right? You think the players know when they're gonna get cut? They don't know when they're gonna get cut. The coach might not even say nothing. The coach might give them a few warnings. After that, they're getting cut, man. Many Israelites are getting cut in the last days. We have to make sure our calling and election is sure, man. Right? Let me read that again. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 9 and verse number 12. It says, for man knoweth not his time, as the fishes that are taken in an evil net. See, when you have fishes in the sea, those fishes that's in the sea, they're not expecting for a damn fisherman to get a net and to cast it in the sea and to pull up a whole multitude of fish. They don't expect that. The fishes, they just swimming, man. They trying to find something to eat. They just going they going with the flow. They're reproducing. They might be bringing food back to their little ones. The fishes, they have no type of intellect. They don't know what's going on. Right? Reading on, it says, and as the birds that are caught in the snare. Bro, you have certain birds, they get trapped up, man. Right? Certain men, they set booby traps. They might be hunting it. Esau might have a rifle with a scope on it, waiting to hunt the bird. These birds don't know that they're going to get put to death. That they're going to be food. That another man is going to use their skin as clothing. Right? It says, reading on, so are the sons of men snared in an evil time, when it falleth suddenly upon it. And these things happen every day. The sons of man don't even know what's going on. And if you was to know the set day that the Most High will probably take you out of this thing, and you will be on fire, man. You would say, no, I got to get this done. No, I got to do all I can. Hey, forget school. Forget my job. And I got to do everything I could do. Because you know the time that you're going. The only man to know the specific time that he's going to get taken out of this thing was Hamashiach Omerak Yahushua. Not that his death was wicked. Because the Lord had a righteous death. He died for the sins of the nation. He died for you, man. Right? And he knew exactly the specific time, date, second, millisecond that he was going to get taken up. And we seen how Yahushua operated. Yahushua was on a whole nother level. The Lord said, even so the sons of men knoweth not their time. So you don't know your time, man. You don't know when the Most High could command his spirit from you. You don't know when the Most High could reject you, man. Right? Like the sister said, Jake is just like the birds, man. Right? Unaware, so he gets caught. Yeah, Jake get caught unaware, man. You have men in the world, they get caught committing adultery. Dang, I wasn't expecting that. Somebody them kick down the door, say, damn, what the hell? They trying to hurry up, put the clothes on, right? These things that man gets jammed up. Hey, that's how the Lord could pop up on you. The Most High could just pop up on you unawares. And if you're not bringing forth fruits, meat for repentance, the Lord is going to cut that tree down. Right? So let's go to the book of, let me get this in Psalms. Right? Let me get this in the book of Psalms, chapter 39. This is Psalms chapter 39 and verse number 4. Right? Let's go to the book of Psalms chapter 39 and verse 4. It says, Lord, make me to know my end and the measure of my days. What is it that I may know how frail I am? So King David said, Most High, just cause me to know my days. Cause me to know when I'm about to give up the ghost, when I'm finna get killed. Right? Hey, David wanted to know, man. Why? Because no man knows. Man doesn't know their time. Man doesn't know what's going on, man. Hey, King David said, make me to know. Right? It says, this the latter end says, what is it that I may know how frail I am? Hey, David said, hey, cause me to know so I can know that I'm nothing, man. That I'm just nothing but earth and ashes shall it return. A lot of you men, I don't know what's your concept on the truth, man. You take baby steps. You know you could do better, but you're not doing it better, man. Hey, ultimately, you're playing with the Most High feelings. Right? The Lord has feelings as well, man. A lot of you men, you just selfish. You regard your feelings, but I feel like this. And you just caught up. Everything consists of you. You. Hey, what about the Most High feelings, man? It says the Lord is a jealous God. The Lord gets jealous. Every time you're in sin, every time you take things for granted, you take wisdom for granted, knowledge, understanding. The Lord gets angry. He gets jealous, man. He gets upset. Why? Because it's like he's giving his mercy in vain. You don't want to make the Most High mercy be in vain, man. You don't want this grace period to be in vain. A lot of you want to ask yourself, what the hell are you doing sometimes? Damn, what am I doing? Now I gotta straighten up. This is what you gotta talk about, man. Instead of talking about Sports Center, you got men talking about the World Cup. Literally, they're going crazy over the World Cup. No, you should be talking about how frail you are. How any given moment, the Most High could cut you down. How manyfold grace and mercy the Lord has bestowed upon you every single day, and you take it for granted. This is what you should be talking about. I'm going to read that again. It says, verse 4, Lord, make me to know my end and the measure of my days. What is it that I may know how frail I am? Verse 5, behold, thou hast made my days as an handbreadth, and my age is as nothing before thee. So King David, he understood that, man. And this is King David. He's a king over the nation of Israel. This is a mighty man of valor. Yet he's saying, hey, my days is as a handbreadth. I'm frail. My age is nothing to thee. And what? David died around, 50 something years old, 60. When you go into it, I believe the scholars say King David died around 60 years of age, around that area. And 60 years is not a long time, man. When you had our forefathers living to be 900 some years. You have Methuselah, 969 years. Adam, 930 years. Our forefathers lived almost up to 1,000 years. Yet King David, King David was a man of the Most High God, man. Hey, the Lord was with King David. Hey, the Lord might be with you. The Lord might not be with you, man. Yet King David said, and my age is as nothing before thee. Verily, every man at his best estate altogether is vanity. Selah. So the point I wanted is, again, man doesn't know his time. Let's go to the book of 2nd Esdras. Right? Let's go to the book of 2nd Esdras. Right? Chapter 4. Let's go to 2nd Esdras chapter 4 and verse number 51. 2nd Esdras chapter 4 and 51. Then I prayed and said, may I live, thinkest thou, until that time? Or what shall happen in those days? Right? This is Esdras asking Uriel this question. Right? He said, hey, Lord, am I going to live in these days? When Jacob's trouble kick off, all hell breaks loose. Am I going to still be enduring? Right? Reading when it says, he answered me and said, as for the tokens whereof thou asked me, I may tell thee of them in part. But as touching thy life, I am not sent to shew thee, for I do not know it. And this is the angel. This is your angel to Uriel. He's saying, hey, about your life and your lot, when the Most High is if the Lord is gonna take you out of this thing, if you're gonna endure in those times, I don't know. So if the angels of God don't even know, how much more does man don't know? But man, he's blinded through that, through sin, through the different distractions in this world. Man, be honest, we're not thinking about when we're gonna die, man. Yeah, we think about it when we think about the precepts, or if you're a man of understanding. But man, every day, man, it's like, dang, this could be my last hour. This could be my last 2 hours. Man is not thinking like that, due to the low level that he's on. So we have to train our mind to think, hey, we don't know our time, man. Some brothers get called, brothers get called out of this thing every week. Believe it or not, brothers and sisters get called out of this truth. The Most High jinx them up, rip their spirit from them, and send them back up to the spirit world every week. Right? Almost every week. I don't know, every day. I could believe it was every day. But somebody's waxing worse and worse and worse every week. Somebody's taking the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that the Most High has given them and balling it up and is not doing anything with it. A lot of women and men, they're taking the talents that the Most High has given them, casting it behind their back, and they doing whatever they want to do. Hey, how do you think the Most High is going to deal with these men and women? Is he going to deal all nicely all the time? It's just mercy, 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 mercy all the time. No, this is not Christianity. The Most High, the Lord is going to do according to these men. Let's go to that in Luke, the 19th chapter. So you have to ask yourself, are you taking this truth for granted? Every time you're not thinking about the Most High, every time you're not occupied in prophecies, every time you're not abounding in the work of the Most High, every time you're not making your calling and election sure, every time you're not doing everything you can to cast out the old man, you are taking this for granted. I mean, this is factual, man. You have to meditate on these things. Right? Stop meditating on foolish things that don't matter. You got certain people, they just meditate on the Clubhouse app. Yeah, I wonder what they doing on Clubhouse. They're going into weird, creepy rooms. late at night. No, hey, you should be meditating on how to be occupied in this thing, how to not take this thing for granted, how to do all you can because you don't know your time. Let's go to the book of Luke, the 19th chapter. Right? Let's go to the book of Luke, chapter 19. And you have certain men, they take the feast days for granted. Oh yeah, this is an opportunity for me to do what I want to do. On the feast days, man. We don't, you think we're gonna have all these feast days forever? You don't get a time to congregate with brothers and sisters forever, man. The days is coming where you're not going to be able to do these things, man. The days is coming where you're not going to be able to kick up your Bible, sit back, burn some frankincense and myrrh, play some instrumentals, and read, man. The time is coming where you're not going to be able to open up your notebook and study. The time is coming where you're not going to be able to teach your family. You're not going to be able to spend time with them. The time is coming, you're not even going to be able to go out on the highways and byways and teach anymore, man. These days are coming. Why not utilize this to your advantage? Let's go to the book of Luke chapter 19. Right? Let's go to the book of Luke chapter 19 and verse 13. Let's get this parable. Right? The parable of the pounds. This Luke chapter 19 and 13. It reads, I'm going to start at verse 11. Luke 19 and 11. And as they heard these things, he added and spake a parable, because he was nigh to Jerusalem, and because they thought that the kingdom of God should immediately appear. Right? That's how certain you men, you think the kingdom is just going to immediately appear. You come into this truth, all you got to do is keep the commandments, feast days, the kingdom of God is going to immediately appear. No, you're gonna have to go through some stuff. You're going to have to endure some stuff. You're going to have to get tried. You're going to have to get off those impurities from you and put on and be as fine gold. Right? Read it on. It says, verse 12, he said, therefore, a certain nobleman went into a far country to receive for himself a kingdom and to return. And he called his 10 servants and delivered them 10 pounds and said unto them, occupy till I come. Right? So the Lord, chiefly Yahushua, gave these men the 10 pounds. Right? It really says men, but this applies to women as well. Gave them the 10 pounds, which represents the talents, gave them everything, and he said, hey, occupy with these things till I come, right? Till I return and judge the world for their iniquity and save my elect from the four winds of the earth. All you have to do is occupy, right? Let's read on. Verse 14, but his citizens hated him and sent a message after him, saying, we would not have this man to reign over us. And it came to pass that when he was turned, having received the kingdom, he commanded these servants to be called unto him. And nobody knows when Yahushua is coming back, man. Nobody knows that. Right? Nobody knows the time the Lord is going to crack the sky open. Not only that, on another fold, nobody knows when the Lord does pop-ups, man. Just like Jake at his school, he's cutting up, he's being bad, he's clowning around, he's getting referrals, then his uncle just pop up on him. His uncle didn't tell him he was going to pop up on him, he just popped up on him just to see if he was doing well in school. Then your uncle find out, you're like, damn, my uncle here, what the hell? Right? Then you get, he take you to the bathroom and you get a whooping, man. That's what Yahushua is doing. The Lord is sending, you have Pacific angels they sent down in 2 Chronicles 16 and 9. Let's get that real fast. To see what are you doing? They're literally sitting down here to see if you're taking this thing for granted, in order to see if you're occupied, if your mind is on the Most High God. Let's go to 2 Chronicles chapter 16 and 9. Right? Let's go to 2 Chronicles 16 and 9. It says, for the eyes of the Lord run to and fro throughout the whole earth. Right? The eyes of the Lord are the angels. That's not talking about the Most High has down 20 eyeballs around his head, like a mythological creature. No, the eyes of the Lord are the angels. It says they run to and fro throughout the whole earth to shew himself strong in the behalf of them whose heart is perfect toward him. Wherein thou hast done foolishly, therefore from henceforth thou shalt have wars. So you have Pacific angels they sent down by the Most High God to see what men has their heart on the Most High God. So what if this angel just pops down and your heart is not focused on the Most High? Your heart is somewhere else. Your mind is in the gutter, as they say. What do you think that angel is going to do? No, that the angel is going to report that back up to the Most High. So even on another fold, the Lord, through the Spirit, he does pop-ups, man. You don't know when these pop-ups are going to occur. That's why you have to have integrity. Right? Now reading on, it says, this Luke 19 and 15, and it came to pass that when he was returned, having received the kingdom, then he commanded these servants to be called unto him, to whom he had given the money, that he might know how much every man had gained by trading. Because the Lord, he wants you to put some type of work in, man. He wanted to see, was you taking this opportunity that he gave you to receive everlasting life for not? Right, reading on, it says, verse 16, then came the first, saying, Lord, thy pound have gained 10 pounds. And you have to ask yourself in this truth, are you gaining righteousness? Are you taking the things, the abilities that the Most High gave you and flipping it, man? Are you increasing in certain areas? And in order to increase, you have to apply yourself. You can't apply yourself and increase. It's not going to work like that. How do you think these top men and athletes of the world, how do you think they got better? Or became a better fighter? Or became a better football player? They put in the work. It took actions. They used they utilized the time that they had and they put it to work. The question is, are you utilizing your time right? Or are you just going to work, coming home, eating, sleeping, going to work again, coming home, eating, sleeping, and it's a repeating cycle. There's no in-between time. There's no time for you to connect with the Most High. There's no time for you to meditate on the precepts. What are you doing with your time? That's the question. You have women there. You have women in the truth. They're wasting their time on trying to get 5 businesses and open up a nail salon. And the truth, you go into this nail salon. Okay, I want to open this up. You trying to do everything else but seek the Most High God, but fulfill your purpose while you was put on the earth. So the Lord, he's trying to see who's going to utilize the time that he gave them to increase and gain those pounds. Right? Verse 17. And he said unto him, well, thou good servant, because thou hast been faithful in a very little, have thou authority over 10 cities. So the Most High gave that man that utilized that time, that didn't take this thing for granted, that endured, that increased, that had integrity. He gave him 10 cities. In the kingdom of heaven, certain men are going to have 10 cities. Literal cities. You might have your city, Atlanta, you might have Little Rock, And you might have different cities. And these cities are big, man. New York is a big city. Chicago, these cities have over 1 million people in them. The Lord gave this man 10 cities. Reading on, it says, verse 18, and the second came, saying, Lord, thy pound has gained 5 pounds. And he said likewise to him, be thou also over 5 cities. And another came, saying, Lord, behold, here is thy pound, which I have kept laid up in a napkin. So you had one of the men, he said, Lord, I know you gave me the time. I know you gave me the grace period, but I didn't do nothing with it. You're going to have men saying that. I knew what I was supposed to do. I knew we had to keep the commandments. I knew we had to be diligent, but I was just off. I was just off. Here you go, Lord. I was just off. What do you think the Lord is gonna say? Now the most I could say, he could have, you know what? All right, I'm gonna have mercy. You know what? It's cool. It's gonna be a clean slate. Is the Most High gonna do that? Well, we gotta read what the Lord is gonna do. We gotta read what the Lord is gonna say. Again, the kingdom is ready. It's no respect of persons with the Most High. So we have to see. We have to read on. We have to. Is the Most High gonna give? You know what? Come on, let's go out to eat, right? And then have an angel bring down a full course meal, and they're talking about how this man didn't utilize his time and he took this shoe for granted. Let's see what the Lord is gonna do. Verse 20 again. And another came, saying, Lord, behold, here is thy pound, which I have kept laid up in a napkin. For I feared thee, because thou art an austere man, that thou takest up that thou laidest not down, and reapest that thou didst not sow. This is what Yahushua said to his man. And he said unto him, out of thy own mouth will I judge thee, thou wicked servant. Thou knewest that I was an austere man, taking up that I laid not down, and reaping that I did not sow. What if the Lord told you that, man? You have to take these words, imagine it in a dark, austere, strong voice, and shoot these words at your spirit. What if Yahushua, he created you and he called you a wicked servant because you took this truth for granted? And women, they're wicked servants as well. Don't think it's just the men. No, the Lord is going to say to certain women, thou wicked servant. He's going to say to certain men, you were a wicked servant. You knew what I was coming to do. You knew I was an austere man. You knew I didn't play. You knew about this grace period. You knew what you're supposed to be doing. Out of thy own mouth, I'm a judge thee. And when you think about it, that's a loss. Because you got two ways. You can either lie to the Lord, or you could just confess it. Either way, you're going to be destroyed when you think about it. Now, you could lie and say, well, hold on, Lord. I didn't know this. I didn't know how serious this really was. I was on fire. You didn't see that time when I did this? Nah, Lord, I didn't take this truth for granted. You could either lie and be destroyed, or you just going to say, you know what? My mind wasn't right. I didn't utilize this time. I was focused on other things that that didn't matter. I acknowledge it. And the Lord going to say, well, out of thy own mouth, I'm going to judge thee. Either way, it's a loss. Let's read on. It says, wherefore then thou gavest not thou my money into the bank, that at my coming, I might have required my own with usury. And he said unto him that stood by, take from him the pound, and give it to him that have 10 pounds. And they said unto him, Lord, he have 10 pounds. For I say unto you that unto every one which have shall be given, and from him that have not, even that he have shall be taken away from him. And that's manyfold, because the Lord gave you the Spirit, and he can take it away from you. The Lord gave you a position in this truth. Believe it or not, every brother and sister that's watching this, you have an ability to be example to a non-believer. You have an ability to change the world. You and everybody on this live, right? Tuning in, most side willing, you're a leader in any type of aspect. You might have a family. You might be a sister. You might have sisters in the world. You might have a mother. You might have children. You have the ability to magnify the Most High's name. It don't matter if you're a woman. It don't matter if you're 14 years old. It don't matter if you're 60 years old. And you have certain men, they think they 60 and it's over with. Nah, I'm 60 years old. I never be a mighty man of the Most High. No, brother, hey, it's never too late to magnify the name of the Most High. So if the Lord gave something to you, and you have a position in this truth, which is beautiful in itself, and you take this for granted, the Lord would take away your talents, strip you of your understanding, and give it to somebody else. Hey, that's what a lot of people, they don't understand. They might not understand. Right? Let's go to 1 Samuel chapter 15. Let's get this precept. Right? Right? Salaki, let's go to 1 Samuel chapter 15 and 58. Every brother and sister in his truth has somebody that's better than them. Right? We just gonna say it. It's another sister that's out there. We don't know where she is. She's out there and she's more sincere than you. She's more honest than you. She's more pure than you. She has more integrity than you. And she believes in the Most High more than you. She reads more than you. She fasts more than you. And she studies more than you. And she respects her husband more than you. And it's another brother out there. He's more on fire than you. I mean, literally, he's just better than you. They tell you that. I mean, people know that in the world. Right? You have certain players. If that player is not living up to his potential, that man is going to get cut. The coach going to bring him in a room. He's going to say, hey, you haven't been performing well as we thought you would. You know, we thought you were going to bring 30 points a game, 5 assists, and 2 rebounds, but you only getting 10 points. Right? What's going on? And if that man is not doing what he got to do, guess what? That man is going to get cut. So every brother and sister in this truth, you have somebody out there that's 10 times better than you, and they're going to magnify the name of the Most High 10 times more than you. Let's go to that in 1 Samuel chapter 15. This 1 Samuel chapter 15 and 28. And when you truly understand that it's going to let you know that you're nobody. It's going to let you know that the Most High doesn't need you. That's what a lot of people think. A lot of people think the Most High needs them, man. No, the Most High, he do. I'm chosen. I knew I was special. You come into the truth, you talking about, yeah, I knew something about me was special, even in the world. Then you come to find out it's over 200, maybe more, maybe 1 million people in the truth that's saying the same thing you're saying. What's gonna make you different from them? Right? So a lot of people, you think the Most High need you, man. Yeah, the Lord need me to do his work. Ain't nobody gonna do the work like me. Right? Nobody gonna make videos like me. Right? Nobody gonna teach my family like me. Hey, hey, the Most High, he need me. No, the Lord don't need nobody, man. He's the Most High God. Is nobody higher than the Most High. The Lord doesn't need man. He doesn't need woman. He don't need no. Hey, the Lord don't even need the angels, man. The Most High needs nobody. Because he's the Most High God. Let's go to 1 Samuel chapter 15 and 28. 1 Samuel 15 and 28. It says, and Samuel said unto him, the Lord have rent the kingdom of Israel from thee this day, and have given it to a neighbor of thine that is better than thou. So guess what? The Lord, he took the kingdom from King Saul. He rejected him. And he said, the Lord, Samuel told Saul, the Most High has given the kingdom to somebody else that's better than thee. Who is better than King Saul? Hey, somebody might have thought, well, hold on. No, Saul, he was a mighty man. Right? Hey, Saul was mighty. Saul, he was prophesying with the prophets. When you read 1 Samuel 10 and 10, you read 1 Samuel chapter 9. Hey, Saul had them big shoulders, them wide shoulders. And he slew thousands of men. Hey, Saul was on fire. Who would have ever thought that there would be somebody better than Saul? Well, hey, guess what? The Most High always got tricks up his sleeve, man. Somewhere else, somebody in a lower position than him, in a sheepfold, long behold, the Lord had King David in a spirit which was better. King David's spirit was better than Saul's spirit. So Saul had somebody that was better than him. Let's go to 2 Kings. So every brother had, it's somebody out there. Well, I don't know their name. I don't know who this man is. I know nothing about him, but he's better than me. And if I'm not upholding myself in the fear of the Lord and bringing forth fruit, the Most High is going to replace and taking this thing for granted. The Most High is going to take me out and he's going to plant this man in my stead. It's going to be no more at times. He's going to be out of here. Right? The Most High doesn't need him anymore. This for everybody, man. Right? It's another elder that's on fire than you, man. It's another teenager that's on fire than you. It's another sister that's on fire than you. Every brother and sister have somebody in this truth that's better than them. And that will replace you if you take it this truth for granted. Let's go to the book of 2 Kings chapter 2. Right, let's go to the book of 2 Kings. Actually, let's go to 1 Kings chapter 2. Salaki. Right, it's the book of 1 Kings chapter 2. 1 Kings chapter 2 and verse number 32. 1 Kings 2 and 32. And the Lord shall return his blood upon his own head, who fell upon the 2 men more righteous and better than he. Right, who is this talking about? It's talking about Joab, man. Right, Joab was just walking around and he was just killing men. I mean, that's just off. But the point is, Joab was mighty, man. He was a mighty man of valor. King David's hitman. Joab would get the job done. But you had somebody righteous, more righteous, and better than he. It says, and slew them with the sword. My father David, not knowing thereof, to wit, Abner the son of Ner, captain of the host of Israel, and Amasa the son of Jether, captain of the host of Judah. So Abner and Amasa, they were better than Joab, man. They were more righteous than Joab. They had a better spirit than him. Knowing that it's somebody out there, they're 10 times better than you, but they don't even know it. They might still be in the world right now. They're better than you, but they're still in the world. Most High's just waiting for you to slip up. So he can say, you know what? I knew this was going to happen. He's done. This should cause you to be more fervent. This should cause you to meditate and think, damn, I haven't been holding myself accordingly. And I haven't been conducting myself as a daughter of Zion. I haven't been conducting myself as a true man in the Most High. I've been abusing the Most High's mercy. I've been abusing the Most High's grace period. Let me get myself together. This should be your thoughts. Or else you're gonna wait till it's too late. The Lord is gonna judge you out of your own mouth. He's gonna call you a wicked servant. He's gonna take everything from you. He's gonna give it to somebody else. And you might have a little reward in the kingdom for the little work you put in. He's gonna take that reward, give it to somebody else. Let's go to 2 Chronicles chapter 21 and 12. Right? Let's go to the book of 2 Chronicles. Right? Chapter 21 and 12. This 2 Chronicles 21 and 12. And there came a writing to him from Elijah the prophet, saying, Thus saith the Lord God of David thy father, because thou hast not walked in the ways of Jehoshaphat thy father, nor in the ways of Asa, king of Judah. Right? Talking about Jehoram, it says, imagine that. Imagine you get a damn writing from a prophet. Imagine you just go outside, you check your mailbox. You really was waiting for your Amazon package for whatever you was ordering, and you receive a letter in it. Right? It says, to Zachariah ben Yahweh. Like, damn, how the hell somebody know my Hebrew name? Right? You open up the damn letter. And the letter, the writing saying, it says, Thus said the Lord God of David thy father. You might, well, hold on. Nah, this can't be this. What the hell? What's going on here? Right? It says, because thou hast not walked in the ways of Jehoshaphat thy father, nor in the ways of Asa king of Judah, but thou hast walked in the way of the kings of Israel, and hast made Judah and inhabitants of Jerusalem to go a whoring. Hey, you gotta imagine this thing. You receive a letter, and I don't even think I have a letter. You receive a letter, you open it up, and it says, to so and so, thou hast not used this time that I've gave thee to be on fire. Since you don't want to do this, this is the consequence for this. And a lot of you men, you will straighten up right then and there. You might bug out, man. Hey, this is what happened to Joram. He received a letter by Elijah the prophet, a writing, saying, since you didn't want to walk in the ways of your righteous forefathers, but in the way of the wicked kings of Israel, and you caused them to go a whoring, you wasn't doing what you were supposed to be doing as a king. And we are kings. The men of the Most High, they're kings. Right? This is the consequence. It reads, verse 13, it says, but thou hast walked in the way of the kings of Israel, and has made Judah and inhabitants of Jerusalem to go a whoring, like to the whoredoms of the house of Ahab, and also hast slain thy brethren of thy father's house, which were better than thyself. So you might even have a brother that's better than you. It's a brother in your congregation. He's better than you, man. It's a brother, it's a prospect. The prospect is better than you, man. The sister in the sisterhood congregation, she's better than you. We have to meditate on these things. It says, behold, with a great plague will the Lord smite thy people, and thy children, and thy wives, and all thy goods. And thou shalt have great sickness by disease of thy bowels, until thy bowels fall out by reason of the sickness day by day. Hey, that's mean, man. The Lord calls this man, not only that, his wife, his children. And that you might be like, wow, why is my household being plagued? Well, brother, you taking the truth for granted. Instead of doing what you have to be doing, reading, praying, fasting, studying, increasing learning, increasing your integrity, increasing your faith, you playing a video game. Playing a Fortnite, man. In your grandma's basement. Guess what? The Most High could cause you to fall day by day by a great sickness. That might be on another fold. That sickness is you, of the spirit of the Most High leaving you day by day until eventually you're out of this thing. And you only get one time to serve the Most High. One time and one opportunity. You only get one shot, man. What are you going to make out of it? Right, let's go to the book of 1 Corinthians. Let's go to the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 15. Let's see what the Apostle Paul said. It's 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and 8. And last of all, he was seen of me also, as of one born out of due time. For I am the least of the apostles, that I am not meet to be called an apostle, because I persecuted the church of God. So Paul said, hey, don't even call me apostle. I'm less than an apostle. I persecuted the church of the Most High. Verse 10, it says, but by the grace of God, I am what I am. And his grace, which was bestowed upon me, was not in vain. So Paul said, this grace that the Lord gave me, hey, that wasn't in vain. I labored. I put in work. I exhortated the people. I endured afflictions. I made my calling and election sure. And when you read 1 Timothy chapter 4 and 8, Paul said, I have fought the good fight of faith, man. Paul, he kept the faith. He endured this thing. The key point that he said what? He said his grace was not in vain. So when the Lord gave grace to the Apostle Paul, he gave them this knowledge. Because that's a lot of grace, man. That's a lot of mercy. You telling me, because Paul was a murderer. When you read Acts chapter 9, the first verse, Paul was actually on his way to go catch up some men and women. And get them, and literally get them cast, and get them almost killed, man, for worshiping the Most High. Paul, he was literally at Stephen. When Stephen died, Paul was right there. Picked up his clothes. Imagine you were a murderer. And that used to be some of us. Before we came into the truth, we used to be murderers. We used to be in adultery. We used to be in all type of lust, weed smoking, whoremongering, weird fantasies. You have certain jakes, they used to be in love with dogs. Now they in the truth. Right? Guess what? That's nothing but grace and mercy. Guess what? Paul said that grace and mercy that the Most High has given me by bringing me in the truth, it was not in vain. Right? The question is, are you taking this thing in vain, man? Are you just taking this for granted? You just wasting your time. You're not utilizing your time. Paul said this was not in vain. Reading on, it says, but I labored more abundantly than they all. Yet not I, but the grace of God, which was with me. And that's a beautiful thing to pray for. Pray to the Most High that you don't take this truth for granted. That you utilize the grace and mercy that he has given you for you to be an Israelite. For you to be in his truth. For you to be able to keep the feast days. For you to be able to understand the Bible. You know how many people can't understand this book? Right? You know how many people can't understand this Bible, man? I mean, it's billions of people that cannot understand the Bible. They read the precept, they go over it, they have no understanding. Versus you who have the understanding. Why? Why let it be in vain? Why let the tender, why take advantage? Why not take advantage of the Most High's loving kindness? And tell you that, let's go to that real fast. It tell you that in Psalms chapter 107 and 43. Right, let's go to the book of Psalms chapter 107 and verse 43. It says, whoso is wise and will observe these things, because everybody not going to observe what we talking about right now. They're going to say, oh yeah, that brother, he's always on that rant. He does this every week, and they just click off the video. You got to observe. Hey, the Lord said, whoso is wise and will observe these things, even they shall understand the loving kindness of the Lord. It's people that don't even understand how loving kind the Most High is. They really don't understand. They know about it, but they don't understand the mercy of the Most High God. They don't understand the grace that He has given. But you do. What are you going to do with it? Let's go to the book of James, the 4th chapter. Right, let's go to the book of James, chapter 4. It's the book of James, chapter 4, and verse number 13. James chapter 4 and 13. Go to now, ye that say, today or tomorrow we will go into such a city, and continue there a year, and buy and sell and get gain. Right, right. Because that might actually happen, man. Right, Salakia. Right, that might actually happen. Jake have plans of, you know what, next year I'm going to move to Minnesota. I'm going to buy this crib. I'm going to get this car. Everything's going to be situated. I'm going to live for here about 8 months. Then I'm going to move back home. That might be your idea. And your plans in this truth, you know what? I'm going to be diligent. I'm going to get 5 chapters in. I'm going to go over the precepts. I'm going to get about 7 prayers up today. I might hit up this many brothers today. And I might watch that video today I seen yesterday. This is what I'm finna do tomorrow. I mean, that might actually be your thought process. Right? It says what? Verse 14. Whereas ye know not what shall be on the morrow. For what is your life? It is even as a vapor that appeareth for a little time and then vanish away. Meaning, hold on. I know you got good intentions and all. I know you want to do right. But really, you can't even really say you're going to do that tomorrow, man. For what is your life? And the Lord said your life is like a vapor. And go outside and it's 20 degrees. And you blow and some damn smoke that hot, that's really vapor. But as you see that little smoke coming out your mouth because it's so cold. And your body temperature is about 96 degrees Fahrenheit. The Lord, as that smoke goes away, that's how a man's life is. It says what? So we don't know our time. This goes back to the topic of this cold cut. You don't know your time, man. It says, verse 15, for that ye ought to say, if the Lord will, we shall live, and do this or that. But now you rejoice in your boastings. All such rejoicing is evil. So the Lord said, for that ye ought to say, if the Lord will, we shall live and do this or that. That's why you might say, damn, why are those brothers always saying, Lord willing, Most High willing? Well, read James chapter 4 and 14 on down. Because we don't know. Tomorrow's not promised. So we have to say Lord willing. And you have certain brothers, they don't even say Lord willing. Yeah, I'm gonna be there 8 o'clock. Then you act, hey brother, where you at? Yeah, I fell asleep. Well, brother, you didn't say Lord willing. Oh yeah, I'm gonna be at camp both days for sure. And you say, well, are you sure, brother? He said, hey, for sure. And I'm coming with my Bible and my apocrypha to be on fire. You like, dang, bro. All right, you hang up. Then the brother don't even come out. That will you have to say, Lord willing. Lord willing, we do this. Lord willing, we do that. Hey, most High willing, we get the kingdom. Most High willing, we endure the afflictions in our lives. That's in our different and respective lives. Most High willing. Why we do not know. That's why. That's why we say Lord willing. Everybody has to say Lord willing. Lord willing, we do this. Lord willing, we do that. Let's go to Proverbs. Let's get another quick preach. Let's go to Proverbs 27:1. The classic. This Proverbs chapter 27 and verse 1. Boast not thyself of tomorrow, for thou knowest not what a day may bring forth. The Lord said, don't boast yourself on the next day. You don't know what's going to take place in that day. You don't know if the spiritual demon Satan is going to get you out the spirit. Now you can't do the things that you would. You don't know. The Lord said, boast not thyself of tomorrow, for thou knowest not what a day may bring forth. Let's go to Ecclesiastes chapter 9 and verse 10. Right? Let's go to the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 9 and verse number 10. It's Ecclesiastes 9 and 10. Whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with thy might. For there is no work, nor device, nor knowledge, nor wisdom in the grave whither thou goest. Meaning, when you're in the grave, when the Most High judge you, when you're back up in the spirit world, you can't pray when you're in the spirit world. It's a little bit too late. You can't go on that fast you always wanted to go through, or you should have went on. It's too late. You can't read. It's a little bit too late for all of that. You can't repent. You can't get off that old man. It's too late. You're in the grave. It's no device, no work, and the grave whither thou goest. That's why whatever thy hand findeth to do it with thy might. Let's go to the book of Sirach, chapter 7, 17 and 27. Right? Let's go to the book of Sirach, chapter 17 and 27. Right? Sirach 17 and 27. This is what Sirach said, man. It says, who shall praise the Most High in the grave, instead of them which live and give thanks? Because certain men, when you're dead, you can't give thanks to the Most High. You're in the spirit world, right? You can't gather yourselves together, man. You can't be on fire. You're in this third heaven. You're resting. Versus a man who's on the earth that has the chance and opportunity to give. Every day you wake up, you have an opportunity to praise the Most High's name. Every single day. Versus it's certain men, they can't praise the Most High. They can't get down on their knees and say, the water Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua for waking me up this morning. Those men that's in the world right now, those sisters that are in the world that turn their back on the Most High, they can't say, the water Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua for having me understand this Bible. They can't pray to the Most High, can you please increase my faith? Can you please have mercy on me? They can't do that no more. It's a little bit too late. And you don't want to wait till it's too late, man. Better late than never. What a wise man once said. So it says, who shall praise the Most High in the grave, instead of them which live and give thanks? Thanksgiving perisheth from the dead, as one that is not. The living and sound in heart shall praise the Lord. See that? So those men that's spiritual too. The men that's spiritually dead and physically dead, guess what? They're not praising the Most High at all. They don't know what they're finished. But the living and sound in heart, hey, they're going to praise the Most High God. Right, let me get one more precept. I'm going to close up. Right? Let's go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 38, and verse number 19. It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 38, and I'm going to start at verse 18. This Isaiah 38 and 18. For the grave cannot praise thee, death cannot celebrate thee. Because a man that's in a grave, he can't keep the feast of dedication. A man that's in the world, he can't keep the feast of dedication, man. He can't keep the Passover. He can't even keep the new moon. If you live to see another new moon, you should drop down to your knees and shed tears, man. Because it's people that they're never gonna see another new moon again. They're never gonna see another Sabbath day again. It says what? They that go down into the pit cannot hope for thy truth. The living, he shall praise thee. As I do this day, the father to the children shall make known thy truth. So a King Hezekiah said, hey, the living are going to praise thee. So again, the topic of this code cut is, don't take this truth for granted, for nobody knows their time. So most I will in this video was edifying. Continue to read, pray, fast, and study. Most importantly, beseech the Heavenly Father for his mercy. Most I willing brothers and sisters are having a beautiful feast of dedication. Continue to turn up in righteousness. All right. But with that, I'm going to say shalom.